The nails are being hammered into the coffin of Firewalk Studios' Concord. The game has now seen its player base decline by over 60% since it released on Friday. We are not even a week into this game, and over 60% of the people have left this game. On top of that, we're seeing wait times of over 8 minutes, and then you're not even getting into the game. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Roll this up over at thatparkplace.com. And of course, people are turning Daw into Miss Marvel. You literally can't make this stuff up. You knew it's coming right there. Clearly Miss Marvel themed outfit. This game is so derivative, so pandering. Well, let's look at some of these player numbers here. When it went live on August 23rd, it hit a peak concurrent player count of 697. That was a 70% decline from the game's open beta back in July, which hit a peak concurrent player count of 2,388. So you already knew this game was off to a very bad start. It was dead out of the gate. The gun fired and the horse didn't even move. It was already dead. The heart had exploded. The player counts did not improve over the weekend, and in fact declined by over 40% by Sunday, August 25th, when the game hit a peak concurrent of just 402 players. You can see it right there in the 24-hour peak count. Again, declined by over 40% from 697 to 402. The weekend has come and gone, and Concord's player 24-hour peak concurrent player count continues to decline. A little bit of a typo there. Sorry about that. On Monday, August 26th, the game hit a 24-hour peak of just 276 players. That's a 60% decline from Friday when the game launched. 60% decline in just 4 days? 4 days, 60% decline. Less than 200 people playing when I took this screenshot just a few minutes ago. As player counts continue to decline, the people that are actually playing the game are experiencing exorbitantly long matchmaking times. Reddit user Wiki09 admitted he waited at least 8 minutes and then got timed out while trying to play the game on Monday, August 26th. He posted this to the Concord Games subreddit. So just waited 8 minutes for matchmaking and then it timed out. I love the game. I want to play it. Unfortunately, I can't wait 8 minutes plus between games. Decided to play something else and come back on peak hours. This really doesn't look promising at all. No, it doesn't, because the game is dead. It literally died when it released on Friday, and it only hit a peak concurrent of 697. What's interesting is that he does admit that he was playing in Belgium, and he was playing on a PlayStation 5, and he was playing around 11 a.m. So obviously not at a peak time here in the United States, where you'd have more people playing, usually in the evening. But even then, I think those player counts are down anyways. So there's more. It gets even worse. It gets even worse. I'm not making this up. On top of the Steam concurrent players falling, this report from a player waiting over 8 minutes for a game and then timing out, another report from True Trophies indicates the game did not even have as many players on PlayStation compared to its early access and open betas on PlayStation. True Trophies reports this. With no one collecting Concord trophies on PlayStation Network, Firewalk's first PlayStation 5 game is in number 147 place in our popularity chart. For clarity, True Trophies explains that their chart is, quote, made using a representative sample of 3.1 million active PlayStation Network accounts, not just True Trophies accounts, courtesy of Game Insights. So they're saying that this game was number 147 on their popularity chart when it released this past weekend. 147. So just to provide some color on that, True Trophies reported back in July that the game ranked 29th on the same chart when it was in both early access and open beta. So it's lost players. People did not buy this game on PlayStation either. Number 147, when it's actually on sale and you got to pay $40 for it. That's compared to when it was free in early access and in open beta, where it was ranked 29th. In fact, we knew that this probably was going to be the case because they actually reported It had 8.1% less players in the open beta than in the early access when there were more people available to play. The open beta was open to more people, and it actually got less people playing it than the early access. The outlet's Kess Eilers Stevenson shared this. Using a gameplay data sample from over 3.1 million active PlayStation Network accounts, courtesy of our partnership with Game Insights, we can see that Concord has 8.1% fewer players in the second open beta than in the early access beta. He added this in our PlayStation chart that ranks the top 40 most popular games every week. Concord ranked in the number 29 position both weeks. So it completely fell down the chart from 29th to 147, which means people did not purchase this game for PlayStation. Probably less people bought it on PlayStation than on Steam. That is how disastrous this game is. Disastrous. As I said in a previous video earlier this week, I think this game gets into double digits by the end of the month. By the end of this week, we're looking at what is the week ends on Saturday. By the end of this week, we're looking at double digits. I do not think that is hard to predict. I mean, we're looking at 200 people right now playing. Peak was 276. We've already seen 40% decline by Sunday, 60% decline on Monday. I think that this game is in double digits or less by the end of this month. I mean, you can't really get any lower than double digits, right? You're talking single digits. That means you're not even getting a full match, right? Because you need, 10 players, 10, 12 players for a match? I think it was, how many's on this team? 5? Yeah, so you need at least 10 players for a single match. So if they go below double digits, you can't even play a match. That's how bad this game might get. A week, 2 weeks, and it's done. It's cooked. It's over. How big of a loss? That's the big question now. How much money did Firewalk Studios spend? We know they spent 8 years developing this. How much money did they spend on this? How big of a loss did Firewalk Studio take on this? How much money is Sony losing on this? And what does the office at Firewalk Studios look like right now? I would love to have someone who is over there, does not like their woke DEI agenda that they're pushing with this game. Tell me what's happening over there at Firewalk Studios right now. I can only imagine that it's that meme where the whole thing is on fire and it's like, there's nothing to see here, folks. There's nothing to see here. As it all is going up in flames. But I'm loving it. But let me know what you guys make of these new reports, these new numbers about Concord and the nails being hammered into the coffin of this game. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, but to always speak the truth.